Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to go over what I would love to see in Captain Marvel 2. The channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos daily. You can also find me over at Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365. Box office numbers are pretty much in. Captain Marvel seems to have done very, very well for itself, sitting at about $153 million for the opening weekend. So, you know, for a Marvel movie, that's great. That's awesome. That's very, very good. And of course, that, you know, being Marvel, you know, we're definitely going to be getting a sequel at some point, I would say. But it's not that Captain Marvel itself was perfect. In fact, I really, really enjoyed it, but I felt there was a lot of things that could be different and could be not so much like creatively, but just through the general filmmaking process. There were a few things that needed to be, I feel, different. It could have been done a little bit better to elevate this movie from, in my opinion, a B to an A. It's still very, very good. It's definitely got rewatchability, but you know, as far as like filmmaking goes, it's not the best movie. It really isn't. But here are a couple things that I think that Captain Marvel 2 definitely needs to bring to up the game to like A level. And, you know, considering this is a starting off point for her, this is absolutely doable. You know, Thor, Captain America, you know, those are just two of the characters that have gotten better with each, you know, as far as, well, not Thor Dark World, but you know what I mean, Thor Ragnarok. But to develop the character, you know, themselves into like a better version. So here are a couple things that I would suggest that we definitely should consider for Captain Marvel 2. Unfortunately, one, new director. No disrespect to the duo that directed Captain Marvel, but it was a little bit too paint by the numbers. It was a little too, your inexperience showed as far as like from a filmmaking standpoint. I don't know, you know, duo directors, you know, can work. Obviously, the Russo brothers can do it. The Farrellys do it. You know, there are those successful pairs. But to my knowledge, these two have not necessarily worked together as far in a directing capacity. So that can also, you know, cause a little bit of whatever behind the scenes or in the creative output. But I'm sorry. We need to, in order to elevate to A level, you have to bring in an A level caliber director. I don't personally have any suggestions. I have a small little personal wish list, but I don't think any of those are realistic, to be honest, so I'm not going to really share them. But yeah, I think in order to up the game, and you know, Captain America did this exact same thing. No disrespect to Joe Johnston. In fact, I love his work. You know, The Rocketeer is still one of my favorite movies from my childhood. But when you go from The Rocketeer to The Winter Soldier, that's a whole new caliber. And we need that for the transition from Captain Marvel to the second one. Definitely, you know, because when we see her in Endgame, she's almost going to be fundamentally a little bit different than from her initial movie. Yes, there's a time gap, but it's also behind the scenes stuff. When, you know, the Russos directed Infinity War, you saw nuanced differences between characters that had been handled by other creative, like James Gunn and such. And not that they wouldn't necessarily were better, but you know, they put their own spin on them. And, you know, for more or less, you need to kind of do that with Captain Marvel too. But I think the directors have to go. Come back in a few years, maybe, make some other stuff. Learn how to fight or, you know, do a few more things behind the camera. I also feel, okay, so another suggestion is do not do what Wonder Woman is doing. Don't stay in the past. We don't need to go back to the past. Wonder Woman did it. The X-Men First Class you know, that series did that. Please stay out of the past. We need present. Like, I think us as fans can appreciate a little bit of the past, but when you're starting to make, you know, multiple movies, and X-Men I think is the most guilty of doing this. You know, I can understand when First Class came out. Okay, let's go back to First Class, but they kind of should have went back, you know, to the present after that. Don't stay in the past. There's plenty to do, because if you start staying in the past, then fans are really going to just start picking apart continuity. And that's going to become the main focus and distraction. Come to the present. That's not saying you can't have flashbacks. Flashbacks are absolutely welcome. Let's see what you've been doing, a little bit of screen time, not the length of the movie. That's going to kind of lead into my third suggestion. One of the biggest weaknesses in Captain Marvel was her relationship with Marvel. That was almost an afterthought, and it should have been almost front and center, to be honest. Let's see more of that. Let's see more of that. If you're going back and flashing back, let's do that. Interact with Marvel. Hell, we don't even have to interact with Carol. Let's see Marvel's past. Let's go back to that. And that will have bearing on what's happening in the present. That's easy. You can do that. Absolutely something that's doable. Also, this is also going hand in hand. I would say Captain Marvel, more cosmic, less Earth. I think, not saying Earth should be absent in Captain Marvel 2. I don't think that at all. I think we should focus on her cosmic side. Because let's face it, with her ability to take on almost every bad guy on Earth is going to be, almost easy peasy. But let's see a good, cosmic side, or good portion of it cosmically. Because Guardians is kind of taking a little bit of a break. I know we're going to get that in Endgame, a bunch of cosmic stuff. But I want to see more of that. I want to see more of her cosmic side. Let's explore that more. Let's make that actually the basis of the movie. Because, one, it's going to differentiate her, franchise from all the Earth franchises. And really, it's Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy are really the only two that have scratched that surface. So let's get more into the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. And I think we're going to be kind of getting that, anyway, as far as the new generation of the new phase goes. But I want to see just a little bit of Earth and kind of like shift the ratio from the first this movie, where it was maybe 15-20% cosmic and then the rest was on Earth. Let's kind of flip that dynamic a little bit. And also, my last suggestion here, let's have a real threat. I guess you could argue that the bad guys in Captain Marvel weren't bad or badly written or anything, but they were not up to her power level at all. It was like you were immediately going into God mode. So let's give her something else. With the Fox deal nearing its end, we could be actually seeing those reverberations in the next Captain Marvel. We could see, Annihilation. We could see Galactus. We could, there are potentials out there that would say, oh, she's a badass, but okay, the big bad is got, he or she can hold her own. So let's see a real awesome threats, not just a bunch of Kree ships and a one-punch kind of thing. So yeah, let's see her struggle. Let's see her really just channel all that energy and that power. Let's get a really big bad in there. So those are my pretty much suggestions for Captain Marvel 2. Leave in the comments, what do you think? What's your wish list for the second movie? Please subscribe, hit that bell notification for me. I put out videos daily. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.